Hi everyone, it's Elizabeth here, the Faculty Librarian for the Agri-Sciences faculty at Stellenbosch University, and welcome to our third video in our Literature Review series. In the previous video, we discussed how to choose a research topic, and now we will be focusing on the second step of your literature review, which is searching and managing your literature effectively. As a recap, and to keep things in perspective, take note of the 5 steps of a literature review outlined here. We will cover each step in detail in each video, but just know that these are the steps that you will be taking. Once you have a topic, you'll move on to searching the literature. This step is really made up of 2 parts. You need to both find the literature and also manage the literature you are finding. If you do both of these, you'll find it helps immensely when it comes time to write. Finding the literature is doing just that, finding articles. Take particular note of creating search strategies at this point to make sure you cover all your information bases. Managing your literature is made up of skim reading your literature to make sure it is relevant and keeping track of key points of literature, which you can do using a table. You can also use a reference manager to help keep track of your literature. When you start looking for literature, it's not as easy as randomly typing a topic into Google. You need to think a bit more before. Using this search strategy is what happens when you take your keywords out of your topic and combine it with advanced search options in order to do the most effective searching possible. If you've never created a search strategy, you can use Search Help or Advanced Search, but the best is to consult a librarian. Take note of other videos we have that cover this topic. While you are searching, you will also be keeping track of your literature. A literature synthesis table helps you to see which literature to include and which literature to exclude quite quickly. You can use a reference manager like Mendeley to keep all your literature in one place and do automatic referencing, but you still need to manage the literature in it. You can do a lot of the table population just by skim reading what you have, as you will only start to read an article in depth when it comes to evaluating that article. This is our literature synthesis table. At this point, you will be able to fill in most of the columns, namely the citation, what the point of the study was, what they were researching, the method or experiment they used, what the sample or experimental design consisted of, and what the findings were. If you do this for each of the papers that you find, you'll quickly see which you need to keep and which you need to throw out. You can do something similar in a reference manager using notes columns, but the easiest is to start by using this table. I spoke about not reading in depth right now when gathering literature. It's important to become comfortable with skim reading. We automatically always skim the title and details when searching. After that, you review the abstract. However, abstracts are written to grab attention, so often frustration is caused because an article looks important, but when you read it, it isn't. If you aren't sure, skim the table of contents. This will give you an idea of what is being covered. After that, you will read the introduction and the conclusion, which will summarize what the article is about, what they did, and what they found. If you still aren't sure after that, just read the first sentence of each paragraph. This is called the topic sentence and introduces what the paragraph is about. You will quickly be able to see if the article is worth it and be able to fill in your literature synthesis table. When reading an article, note the main ideas and see if it addresses the research aims of the article and fits into your research aims too. It's important that you realize that you're not looking for every article ever written, just the seminal ones that convey the main academic opinions about the topic. A seminal article is an article that carries a lot of weight in the academic field because it sets a research position around an area. Often these articles have high citations and are written by experts in the field. Be careful though to only look at citations. A very bad article will also have high citations because of the amount of articles wanting to disprove it. Once you start skim reading, take note of other authors mentioned. You will then start to see the experts in the field as they will be referred to often. Look at the bibliographies of articles and look at who has cited the article as well, and you will quickly find the main works in that research area. So now you should be ready with your literature. We can move on to our next video, which will be looking at how to critically evaluate the literature to make sure that your literature review is much more than just a summary.